Amino, you disgustingly beautiful app you were. Goodness, it's a shame what happened to you. For people who don't know who Amino is, because that's the app that this is going on. Amino is, the people who act weird on TikTok and act like they have disorders and they have just something wrong with them. They're autistic and all this. Well, this is where they were before they went to TikTok. And you don't know what Amino is. Amino is basically like Discord, but way easier to meet people. So basically, it was like Discord, but like way easier to touch kids.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which suggests.
It was also filled very, very sick people, like genuinely sick people. Not the sick, like, I'm something wrong with me mentally. Sick as in weirdos, pedophiles. Now, probably shouldn't say that word. You know how they get about that, but pedophiles. And this was a giant problem on Amino, like a real, real bad problem. You could go anywhere on Amino, and you'd probably find people talking about it. Either that or somebody just being a horrible person, because that's what they love to do on Amino. Now, one of these people, Jack. I don't even know if that's his real name, but Jack. Now, Amino was filled with teenagers, people way too young to be on there, and people way too old to be on there. Jack was one of those people. He was in his 30s when I first met him, and it's a 13 plus app. So it was like, that's crazy. And like the oldest person in our group at that time before I met him was like 19 years old. So he's in his 30s, and the oldest person I knew was 19. Jack was a liar, and I mean a big liar. He lied about anything he possibly could. He also lied about things to try to make himself seem cooler. Now, Jack, he said he was missing an arm, which I don't know if he actually was missing the arm. I never saw him. I saw a picture of him once, but he was in the back. He also lied and said he was like 7'8" or some bullshit like that, which was a lie. Most definitely a lie. But he would lie. He said he was missing an arm, and he said he lost his arm because of a bank robbery. Not that he was in the bank robbery and somebody shot him while he was, getting down. No, that it was a bank robbery going on. He saw it going on, and he jumped into action to save the day. And in the process of saving the day, he lost his arm. He also said that his friends and him had semblances. If you don't know what semblance is, it's from a show called Ruby. Now, Ruby is this. Ruby's like an animated show, and they have powers and all this shit. Now, he said he had semblance. He said his friend had a semblance. He also said that he shot his friend point blank with a shotgun while his friend was off guard, and his friend turned around and cut all the pellets in half with a sword. So he was this type of delusional, and he genuinely believed that these things he would say. And I mean, I know how people act when they believe a lie, because I have first-hand experience. Now, this is a little side thing to, lighten the mood a little bit before we get into the dark and gritty things. But when I was a lot younger, me and my sister used to run up to walls and jump off of them. Yeah, very stupid. Now, one of these times, we were doing it in my mom and dad's room, and I ran a little too fast, and I spurned and kicked a hole into the wall. Now, not wanting to get my ass beat, we lied and said I tripped on one of the shoes and busted my head on the wall. And I was good at this lie. I carried this lie on for a long time. In fact, I carried this lie on for so long that I started getting medication for headaches that I didn't have. Made me think I should stop, but because medication for something you don't have usually doesn't end well. But I was like, fuck it, I'm finna stick to this lie. You're not finna catch me in it. And yeah, and I believed, and I would lie so much that I started to actually believe it, because my sister, me and her were talking shit back and forth, and she said, oh, that's why you bust your head. That's why you hit your head on the wall. And I genuinely got mad. I was so mad. But then later on, I was laying in bed, I was like, wow, why am I so mad? That was a lie me and my sister came up with, so I didn't get in trouble. So, him actually believing the lie this drastic isn't the craziest thing to me. But all that aside, there was this girl. Let's name her Karma. Now, I don't want to be mean or anything, but she was pretty. I don't know what to say. She was naive. I'll say that. That's nice thing. She was naive, and Karma wouldn't be talking serious. Now on Amino, a lot of people would role play, not the sexual type of role play, but like the GTA role play, pretending to be stuff role play, and she will always be talking in role play, always be talking in character, and there's probably a reason why it took us so long to see, but he will always talk in character, and for him, he wouldn't talk in character. And yeah, like she was always talking character, but he would not talk in character. He almost never be talking in character. He'd be dead serious, 24/7, 7 days a week, dead serious about everything. He would be talking about everything he would say. Now, eventually, later on, we're talking in character, and since she doesn't talking seriously, I don't expect the actual good answer from her. But we're talking, the whole group is talking, and eventually we get to age. Now, are we talking about age? Everyone says their age, their real age, except for PG, who lied and said he's older than me. But that's a whole other thing. He said he lied, and they made fun of me for being the youngest. Whoop-de-doo. But it's up PG. And even Jack, who was in his 30s, I think he was 35, he said his age. He told us that he was 35. But she got really weird and got upset. And I wouldn't have been surprised she cussed us out. Like, she was genuinely angry. And eventually she left, which we thought was weird. And yeah, but you know, these are the weird TikTok people, so we think nothing by it. She's acting weird. Now over time, what was I going to say? Lost my train of thought. But now, over time, they started getting closer, her and Jack. Now, we should have thought something of this sooner, especially when she acted so weird about telling us her age. And he, by the mind you, he told us his age before she did. So her acting so weird about her age and how close they got, you know, we're stupid kids, okay? Like, I was like 16 maybe. No, I was like 15, 13 maybe during this. So me not saying anything and not noticing, I mean, give me a little bit of slack. I was a dumbass little kid. But we should have noticed something, especially when he was 30 and she acted so young. And how she acted when we brought up ages. We should have saw something. We should have noticed something. But we didn't. Now, carry on. We figure out through asking them, because they're so close, we just wanted, like, where they're, oh my goodness. Y'all did not hear that stutter. Please do not mention it. Now, back to the story. They were getting so close and they're our friends, so we want to know, are they dating? And they say, yeah. They're dating. That's not, I don't know about this one, Chief. Especially when she acts like that. Now, since she always talks in role play, we thought maybe, because she did not answer, she did. And maybe we was like, oh, maybe they're talking role play. Maybe she's just playing and he's our friend, so we don't want to just throw, oh, he's a child molester. Just throw it out because he's our friend. But she's also our friend and we want to make sure she's good. But the fact that he almost never talks in roleplay should have told us the fact that maybe this is dead serious, because he didn't deny it. So now we come together and agree that we think he's a predator, but we're not going to say that out loud because we have no evidence. All we have is that she acts really naive and acts real childish, and he's old as hell. But again, This is Amino Day. This is the weird people on TikTok, the grown women and shit who be pretending to be babies and wearing diapers and making the Google Gaga in the mic on TikTok for views. So, considering those are the type of people that are on this app, she genuinely could be as old as us or even older. She could be older than him, and we won't be able to know this because those are the same type of people who are on there. But we come to the conclusion that he might be a pred, and we need to make sure she's good, and we need to break this up. He needs to be exposed. Now, carry on a little longer, because she still acts weird about her age. Now, while I'm sleeping, I don't know if War and PG are Batman, but they're able to get her to tell her age, and she's 16, same age as us. So he's in his 30s. He's in his 30s when he first told us his age, and now she tells us that she's 16. They've been together for a little bit, like 2 years. 2 years, 1 year, whatever. When they were together, she turned 16 in the relationship. She didn't turn 16 outside of it. So she was like at least 15 or 14 when the relationship first started, or at least when they first started getting something close. So now that we have confirmation that he is a weirdo, we tell her, you shouldn't be with him. He's weird. You're not supposed to be with someone so young. We're telling her that's not right. That's not right. And she just like leaves. Like she doesn't want to hear it. But we're trying to help her because this is sick. He's in his 30s, almost 40. Actually, now that I think about it, I think he was older than my parents at that time. That should be crazy, y'all. He's either older or the same age as my parents dating someone. So he could basically be her dad. So someone who would basically be her dad was dating her. That's not cool. We're trying to explain that to her, but she's just not listening. She genuinely, I guess, loves him and cares about him and doesn't want him getting in trouble. And especially when we say he's a pedophile, she just dips, leaves. Doesn't care about anything else we're talking about, she just leaves. But they get her to break up with him. But that's still not enough. We want a confession from him because, again, like I said, Karma talks in RP all the time. She never talks seriously. So we need confirmation from him who never talks in roleplay. He's dead ass the entire time. So we continue to talk to him to try to get a confession out of him. Now, the reason we're to talk to him is, of course, we're trying to get the confession, and now they're not together anymore, so we don't have to worry about that. And as I'm talking to him, we get his confession. But before that, he was doing this weird thing, and I don't know what he was trying to do. He was trying to act like I was in a relationship. I was in a relationship with him. He was talking about, oh, you remember how this and that, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've been to 2 other states, and that was Texas. I've been to 1 other state, because this is before I even started going up. I've been to 1 other place, and that's Texas. And you say you never left the country you in. You say you don't even have a passport. I don't have a passport, so what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know if he's trying to reverse psychology me and to think I was dating him, but I don't know what that move was. But eventually I get him to admit, and I had to take him for a team. Fuck, but he admitted. He admitted, and boom. Once he admitted, I cuss him out, say a bunch of things to him, and leave. I was just trying to be nice to him so I can get the confirmation, 100% confirmation. But once I leave, my friends tell me that that's not enough information to get him put in jail. So I had to backpedal on everything I said to him because they don't have enough information, and I had to fake like I actually liked him. That was as good as you probably think it was. I had to pretend like I actually liked him. That didn't go anywhere. He knew it was. I don't know why I even did it. he's a weirdo, but he's not that stupid enough. I just cussed him out and called him every name under the sun. And also, I said something about him doing stuff with karma, and he didn't deny it. So I don't know what that was, but they wanted me to pretend like I liked him. It didn't go anywhere. I don't know if they sent the information to wherever he lived, because again, he lies a lot, so he could have not even lived there. Jack could not be his real name, and he never gave us a last name, even if Jack was his real name. So even if Jack is genuinely right hand to God, his actual name, we do not know his last name. We only know the country he lives in, so we don't even know what city, what state. We don't know none of that. So we literally couldn't do anything. All I could do is threaten him. I threatened him. I said, this is a lie. I don't know anybody that can do that. But I was like, oh, if I catch you again, I'm getting somebody to take your IP. We're going to put it on the black market. This and that. And I tried to sound as convincing as possible. And it sounded like he believed me. I blocked him. And yeah. Moral of the story, Amino was a sick place that needed to be fixed and just wasn't. And you need to if you have kids and you're watching this, keep your kids safe. And if they say they have Amino, delete that off their phone. Well, don't delete it off their phone, because I met a lot of cool people. I met a lot of cool people. Don't just take it, but you need to moderate them, because there's a lot of sick people on that app. I hope he's in jail, but that's wishful thinking. But a man's got a dream, am I right?